change the world. On we go.
Hey you guys, welcome back to Coffee Over Apples. Let's just talk about my January reading plans. I didn't get a chance to post my usual TBR game, which is Magic the Gathering game for January, just because December was wild, and by the time this video is coming out, it's probably already going to be January. So like, I know, and I'd rather just like update you on what I plan on reading, because I also know that January is going to be super busy, especially because it's my birthday month. Yay! My birthday is in the beginning of January, so the first 2 weekends I'm already full. I've got family, I've got friends, I've got events that I'm going to, so it's better for me to just not have too many wild cards when it comes to reading, so I know exactly what I'm going to have, especially because I have a major reading challenge for January, or for 2024, so I need to get that started. First thing that I will say is kind of a rollover from December, because our sci-fi book club decided to just reschedule our book club meeting for January 7th. Since we usually have our book discussions on the last Sunday of the month, however in December, the last 2 Sundays were both like holidays. So I started reading The Three-Body Problem. I am currently here. I am also annotating a little bit. So I'm going to be finishing this in the first week of January in order to have a live show discussion on it. I'm really looking forward to talking about this. So far, it's kind of got me caught off guard. I was not expecting the way that this is written, and this is like my biggest confusion around this. I'm still debating if I want to like continue vlogging this or what. Because I didn't know enough about the Chinese Cultural Revolution in order to really understand the impacts and implications of what is happening here. Also, I feel like this book is very much a critique of communism. So my brain is struggling to wrap around how this book is so popular, unless I'm misunderstanding that it is, how it's so popular in mainland China if it's critiquing the government, unless again the way that it's critiquing the government is really a critique of the old government. I don't know. I'm still too soon into this to really be able to like fully elaborate on what exactly it's trying to do. But so far so good. I'm invested, I'm intrigued. But yeah, so this is gonna be the first week of January regardless, again, which is why I'm like, I don't have time to insert random book from TBR game here, because as you'll see in a second, there's more. So the biggest challenge of 2024 is a Stormlight Archive reread, and I'm very excited about this. I'm actually going to be doing it bi-monthly because there are 4 books so far in Stormlight Archive. I have the rest over there, and I've read them all already. I vlogged them already. However, I have a couple things to say. First of all, the 5th book is coming out at the end of the year. I don't know if it's either November or December, so this is in anticipation of that. Also, the 4th book in this series, I think it was Rhythm of War, I strongly did not like, and I talked about in a vlog when I first read it like almost 2 years ago now. So like, Steph, why would you continue a series that you changed your mind about as you went along, that you disliked? Because I have a lot of things to say. And in hindsight, I'm now looking at book 1, which is The Way of Kings, so much differently. I adored this book when I first read it. If you can see all of these tabs and how many pink and red tabs there are, that's how much I loved this. And I might just still really like this. I'm not going into this looking to dislike it. But what I'm looking to do is have a important and constructive critique on colonialism and like parallels to slavery and genocide and other things that are prominent in the Stormlight Archive, that these are conversations that I couldn't have the first time. And that's okay. When I first read this, I was reading it along with a lot of other people who really love this series. And it's one thing that I've seen in other reviews of this series where everyone talks about the magic, everyone talks about their favorite characters, everyone talks about all the wonderful things about this series, which is great. Like, it's great to love something and it's great to be able to enjoy those aspects of it. But what I'm interested in talking about is the way that Sanderson uses social constructs in his narrative to create a compelling plot. But the way that it was addressed in the later books, I took issue with. And now that I know those things, I want to go back and see if I can reassess the way that the plot was established. Because those were things that I was not looking for in the beginning. But that I remember, like, subtly being there and thinking to myself the first time, oh, that is gonna be talked about later, right? Like, we're gonna put a pin in that. And I don't necessarily remember if it was addressed in certain places or wasn't addressed in other places. So I want to go back to a book that I love and reread it with new knowledge and reassess, like, is this a beloved series for me, you know? So if you love this series, maybe this is a series of videos on my channel that are, again, it's going to be few and far between, maybe like one every 2 months of vlog and like a review with some friends. So if you don't want to hear somebody criticize the Stormlight Archive, don't watch those videos, you know, that's okay. But yeah, I am going to be doing this with my friends, Sarah from Voyage Through Worlds and Sela from Sela Pocats. We're going to be picking these books apart just because I want to have a constructive conversation about these things. That is the part of this that is interesting to me. Sure, I love magic. Sure, I love world building. Sure, there's probably going to be some characters that I enjoy more than others and I want to talk about them. But I really, really, really want to talk about the implications of having these discussions around colonialism, genocide, and slavery in high fantasy, particularly written by a white male author. I think it needs to be addressed. So that's the conversation I'm looking to have. This is going to take me 2 months to read. We are giving ourselves some grace with this. It is a chunker. It is like 1,000 pages. So I'm going to start it in January, but I'm probably not going to finish it till February unless for some reason I feel so compelled to finish it faster. And that's fine. The other book that I need to read in January is Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes, I think it is. I still need to get a copy of this. It is the Interstellar Book Club sci-fi pick for January, which means that the live show for this is going to be at the end of January. It's probably going to be the last Sunday in January. So I need to read this sooner rather than later, right? Which, as I hope is now clear, between this and that's a lot. That's a lot of reading in January. And like I said, with birthday plans and family and friends and everything else that's going on, I don't want to push myself too hard. If anything, if this is all just too dense for me, I might throw in like a romance or something light or something silly or some manga or something just as like a palate cleanser. But I think this is enough to keep me busy. Anyway, I post videos whenever I feel like it. Thanks for watching. Bye!
On we go!
What's it making, Mr. Wonka? Mr. Wonka, what the